Well, as expected, the bulk has gotten to that point where food is just difficult to look at. There's no appetite for absolutely anything. And after a certain point in the day, taking another bite just requires mental effort. But, anyways, we're not complaining. I guess this is what it takes to put tissue onto your body, so gotta do it. But in this video, I have a full day of eating for you. I'm gonna show you whatever I eat in a day. This is actually the perfect time to do it because I've just had a fresh stock of groceries come in. So I thought this was the perfect moment to show you everything that I eat in the day and how I'm approaching my eating at this point in the bulk. So I actually haven't been doing a pre-workout meal or snack consistently. So the first meal is actually only going to be post-workout. So right now we are going to be heading to the gym. I am not really sure if the campus gym is open today because it's game day and they usually shut the gym on all game days. So I'm just gonna go into my apartment gym, and today we've got shoulders and biceps anyways, so equipment wise, any gym is just perfect. Okay, well, shoulders and biceps is done. 5 months into the bulk, stuffing food in, but focus on the positive, at least it's showing. Pretty happy with the fullness now. But yeah, why don't we go home and sit down for the first meal, which is the post-workout meal. Throughout the meals, I'll carry you through all the macros as well if you're interested, so stay tuned. Okay, so first meal of the day, like I said, post-workout meal. For post-workout meal nowadays, I've been doing cereal and milk. The cereal is still in measured quantities because yes, on the bulk, we can have a little bit of fun with foods. And this isn't exactly cravings. This does serve a purpose. I'll talk about it in a minute of why exactly cereal post-workout, but just gonna fix myself this meal and then let's sit down and have a look at the macros. So why the cereal, you ask? This is absolutely not something that I fret over or obsess over, but it's just for that post-workout quick carbs benefit. Because after exercise your body is very insulin sensitive. It's more primed to take up carbs and quick sugars as much as possible, and also it's just easier to eat. It makes the entire daily food intake a lot more easier, and it tastes good. Honestly, one of the only meals that I look forward to and that I actually only have the appetite for, maybe because it's immediately after a relatively taxing workout. But yeah, I'll put up the macros for this meal on the screen as well. By the way, about the post-workout quick carbs and protein thing, it's not something that I sort of prioritize, but it's one of those things where you're like, okay, if you can on a day, might as well. Because on days when I have to go to college right after gym, like there's no way I'm actually carrying like cereal and milk to campus. I could, but then I just don't want to. And it's just one of those things where if you can get it right on some days, just do it and just see how it works for you. But yeah, gonna eat this meal, and then after actually a little time, we'll get to cooking the next two meals that I'll show you. So stay tuned. Okay, time for meal number 2 and actually 3. So what I'm going to be doing in the kitchen is batch cooking a huge meal, and then I'm just going to space it out, divide it according to my appetite, which obviously is not very great. So it's going to take a while to finish whatever I'm going to be cooking in the kitchen right now, but let's go see what it is. Okay, ingredients for the next meal: massive bag of rice, chicken breast, cheese, marinara sauce. No, it sounds a little bit weird, but I promise you, very, very interesting meal coming up. So stay tuned. Okay, so this meal is in preparation right now, but there's one thing that I did want to mention. You'll see me talk about this meal when we sit down, look at the macros and stuff, that there's heavy quantities of white rice in this. I'm talking like 350 grams uncooked weight of white rice, which is an awful lot. But there was this stretch of days in between where instead of rice, I was doing pasta as my main carb source, just as an act of switching it up a little. And I was doing heavy quantities of pasta, like I'm talking 250 grams raw weight of pasta. It was easy to meal prep, easy to get down, But then after a few days, I realized that it's causing a little bit of discomfort in the stomach. And at some point, when it's not mild discomfort and it's very, very obviously hurting your stomach, you have to know that this probably isn't the best decision for you. And this is a really important thing that people skip, I think, especially when eating for body composition change or something like bulking, especially, where at one point your mission daily is just to get food down. This it's a weird analogy, but it's almost like a garbage bin. You pick stuff up, you throw it into it, and what happens inside is really none of your business as long as you got that done, right? That's how people think bulking is. But the thing is, you could be really harming yourself. Probably not the best way to treat yourself or your digestive system. So, if there's some food that you're eating in very heavy quantity and is causing you to feel some really obvious discomfort, try switching that out a little. An example that I can give you that I tried doing when the pasta hurting my stomach thing happened is that I took out pasta. I just increased the amount of white rice because I know that's something that sits well with my stomach. Increased the quantity of white rice very, very high and experimented with very low quantities of pasta, like from 250 grams raw weight to about 50 grams raw weight. Felt perfect. So definitely do consider switching up foods a little bit and just see what suits your stomach best, because you're gonna have to eat a lot of food. And at one point, if there's something that's causing you so much discomfort in your gut or in your stomach that you just can't eat food, the bulk is pretty much over and you just can't go further anyways. So that's not great. So this is the entire aftermath of that meal. Doesn't look appetizing at all. I know it just looks like plain rice, but I promise you, when you actually mix everything, it's super delicious. By the way, just for a little context, it's weekend today, so I don't need to do this, but usually I'd be packing these meals into these boxes like these if I need to take it to campus, so that's super convenient as well. Okay, so meal number 2 is here. This is chicken, rice, cooked in olive oil, marinara sauce, and some feta cheese. And the reason this specific combination is because, I mean, I wish I could show you by mixing the whole thing up, but it's actually so much food that it's going to take a little bit of care to actually mix the whole thing up. I mean, that's the story of the bulk so far, to be honest. Like, food is so much that it barely fits in the plate or the bowl. So, like, there. But, anyways, this is a big meal that I just cooked into the kitchen. I'll put up the exact macros on the screen, but it's approximately about 1800 calories, so a huge meal early in the day. It's just about 1 in the afternoon right now. Again, I'm not going to eat the whole thing in one sitting because honestly, just the sheer idea of that is a little bit terrifying at this point. So I'm just going to eat this one half, and then maybe in about 2 or 3 hours when I mean, never actually going to get hungry. Like, that's just how it is right now. But anyways, when I feel like I can eat a little more food, I'm gonna go grab the second portion and then we can sit down for the further meals of the day. But a little about why exactly this combination of the chicken, rice, sauce, and cheese. It's because if you saw my previous video wherein I mentioned some tips for eating on a bulk, I did mention the textures of food, which means when I mix this entire thing, it's going to become a semi-gravy kind of a texture because of the marinara sauce, the cheese. It's going to become a kind of a sloppy thing and it tastes good. So I'm just going to down this whole thing. It's still going to be difficult to eat, but at least the taste and the texture of it is going to carry me through the meal and just ensure that I'm eating consistently at a surplus. But yeah, right now I'm going to eat this, probably do some work, and then I'll see you for whatever the next meal is. Okay, so it's about 4 p.m. right now. I was just studying, but now I think I'm hungry enough to eat something else. I sort of glanced through my macros for this point in the day, like whatever I've eaten till this point. I'm at about 68 grams of protein right now, and it's 4 p.m. Probably not the best situation to be in because at the end of the day, I do want to complete that almost 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein. So the next meal that I'm gonna eat, I want something high in protein, and I don't mind high in carbs as well, and low to moderate in fat because fat is something I'll keep closer to my bedtime to keep myself full. I think I mentioned the same thing in the last full day of eating video as well. I do track my food pretty consistently. This is not me advocating that every single person needs to do this, but it's just something I've gotten into a habit of. So let's see what the next meal is. Okay, so next meal is good old protein oats, and this is actually one of the main reasons I'm shooting this full day of eating today, because the new batch of groceries came in. Because if I did this like 4 days ago, I was actually out of whey protein for a while, so I was eating like 9, 10 whole eggs throughout the day. So all you would have seen on the plate is eggs, and when I was doing this video, I just wanted to show you kind of like the full array of and the full spectrum of my food choices so that I can show you how I'm approaching the bulk. But anyways, protein oats, this has got about 150 grams of oats, 250 ml of milk, and 2 scoops of whey protein. Like I said, I wanted something high in protein at this point in the day so that I can space out the protein intake a little evenly, and at night we can do something low to moderate in protein and be just fine on the total intake. By the way, I also fully just lied. That second portion of chicken rice, the whole meal, I haven't even gotten started on it yet. It's tough, but I promise I will eat it, and I'll even show it to you. I'll show the finished bowl to you, hold myself accountable, and actually eat that meal. I don't want to skip meals. We're trying to put on size over here. That's what it takes. But yeah, I'm gonna eat this meal right now. I might go outside for a little to complete a walk, to complete some steps. It's kind of nice outside. But yeah, as of now, protein oats. Well, struggled as per usual, but this meal is over. It was actually quite easy. I had some work to do on my laptop, so I was doing that while eating. Don't even know how to explain it to you, but it took me like 2 hours to finish this bowl of food. But yeah, there's only one small tiny meal left for the day because I had a look at my macros, my calorie intake till this point of the day, and we're at something like 3200, and the total goal for the day is 3400, which means a 200 250 calorie meal that I'll go fix myself. I'll obviously show you what I end up with, and at the end of the video it's going to be time for the total macros of the day and a little important talk about macros on a bulk in general. So keep watching. Okay, so that last meal was literally just a cup of milk. I'm sorry if I created some kind of build up towards it. Turned out to be very basic. But it's time for the daily macros of the day. Total calories for the day were 3,450, protein 192 grams, carbs 513 grams, and fats 72 grams. And about the protein, the 192 grams, I know this may seem like so much, but the thing is, a lot of it comes from the heavy quantities of rice and oats and all those other non-dedicated sources. But in terms of dedicated sources, my protein intake is looking like something about 125 to 130 grams, which is perfect for me right now. I also did want to mention that on some days I will do higher fats. This 72 is actually on the lower end of my intake, and usually on days when I don't have appetite, I will ramp up the fats and kind of go a little lower on the carbs just to compensate, because total calories need to stay the same. But I do want to mention about bulking macros a little. The thing is, when you try to chase these really perfect ratios of macros, like, you know, things like 70% carbs, 30% fats, what happens is a lot of the times you tend to focus on something that's not very important and kind of miss the entire point of the bulk, which is calories and protein in the first place. So I for one think that as long as your calorie intake is consistently at a surplus, most of that is coming from relatively healthy, clean foods, less processed foods, and as long as protein intake is sought, while bulking you don't need too much of protein intake anyways, because there's a lot of food in your body to take care of the muscle building anyways. So yeah, in order to chase those perfect ratios of macros, I just don't think it's really beneficial on a bulk. But yeah, that's what my bulk is looking like right now. I think the last time we filmed a full day of eating, that was just about 2800 calories. Now we're up to almost 3500, so you can tell that the bulk has been progressing really well and gotten very serious over time. But anyways, thanks for watching this video, and I will see you soon in the next one.